Hello everybody, JGC Anime here, and today we are going to be reviewing the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, or Kumichao Musume to Sewegakari. I probably said that wrong, but let's roll with it. Alright, so, what is the story of the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting? We follow one of our main characters, Kirishima Toru, or Toru Kirishima, however you want to pronounce it, where he has to now babysit his boss's daughter, because as I mentioned, he's a Yakuza member, and thus their days of him being her babysitter begin. That's the way the story starts. Going any more into this would be spoiler territory, so let's just talk about it in some spoiler-free thoughts. So, I actually had a very good time with this series. Like, I was going into it thinking it would just be a little fun thing, maybe a mediocre but still entertaining show. But I actually had a genuinely good time with it. It may not be like some big epic anime. In fact, I still have some complaints to it. But overall, I had a very good time. Kirishima and Yaika, or whatever, I think it's Yaika, who is the daughter of the Yakuza boss. Their chemistry is great with one another. I find the two of them to be really charming when they are on screen together. It's a lot of fun to see them, as well as a lot of the side characters. In fact, I can't really think of any side character I didn't really like besides, the main villains that you're meant to hate. But any side character who you're just meant to kind of like see is there and fun to have around, I had fun with them. In fact, I think every single character in the cast fits really well, and I really like them. I just had such a great time watching this anime. That's all I can really say. I just had a great time. One big complaint I have, however, has got to be how it feels like the anime's never really gotten started. Like, it never feels like, okay, we're entering this point in the story. It never feels like that. Whenever I'm watching this, like, even though I watched through all 12 episodes, even after I finished it, I was just like, wait, it's already done? It feels like we've barely done anything. And even though we have done quite a bit, I'll get into why I felt like that in the spoiler section. I thought the opening theme was kind of mediocre. Like, it wasn't the worst thing. It's just this weird thing where I enjoyed it, but I didn't like super get into it. I don't know if I'd add it to a music playlist or not. I don't know. The ending theme I don't have an opinion on. The animation for the most part in this series is pretty solid. I'd say it's very well animated for the most part, and I enjoyed it. Even though this was a slice of life, the action scenes were, since there is a few action scenes, were pretty entertaining to watch. And overall, I'd say I had a pretty good time watching this anime. Every single character feels like they belong in the story. I don't really think anyone doesn't fit the area they're set to play in, and I really just had a great time while watching. So, yeah, this is really short spoiler-free thoughts section because, well, spoilers kind of need to be said here. So, yeah, we're just going to enter a spoiler section now. Here is a timestamp to when the spoiler section will come to a conclusion. If you have seen the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, I recommend sticking around to hear my thoughts, but if you haven't, I'd recommend skipping to the end because I don't want you to lose what could be some really wholesome moments, because this anime is very wholesome. And yeah, so if you are fine with spoilers, go ahead and stick around after I'm done counting down from 5. So yeah, let's just count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what did I mean before when I said like it never feels like the anime gets going even though a lot happens? It's because they keep setting up all these different things. Like, there is this villain in the series that's introduced known as Yori Mashiro, who is like this big threat trying to get Kirishima to return to his old self, where he used to be like a very demon-like Yakuza member where he would get the job done but was very violent about it. But after meeting up with Yaika, he ended up mellowing down and he's much more peaceful now. So, as I mentioned before, I'm just gonna call him Mashiro, is trying to bring that old Kirishima back, and I feel like there was meant to be. I feel like that was what they were trying to go for when some random thugs, well, not random, they were part of Mashiro's plan. These thugs one of them punches Yaika and, drives Kirishima back towards the demon mode. But I feel like they could have explored the demon mode thing a bit better. And I think that there's still a lot to come, but I feel like I'm missing something. I think the way they handled him, like Kirishima returning to demon mode for a bit was pretty well executed, but I also feel like there could have been a bit more to it, but that's just me. And one of my biggest issues has got to be the one big issue I kind of have with the series is how it handles its foreshadowing. Like, its foreshadowing is kind of frustrating because they foreshadow a lot of events that don't end up happening in the season, such as Yakuza is talking with her two friends, and she's just like, oh yeah, I'm very happy with my encounters right now, but those encounters don't always stay happy. It's like this tease that something might happen in the future, and I was thinking, okay, at the time of this line, there are 4 more episodes. I'm pretty sure it was 4 more episodes. So we'll probably get that explained in the next 4 episodes, and it's never brought up again. I'm sure it's brought up in either whichever this is a manga or light novel. I'm guessing it's a manga series. I'm sure it's brought up there, but there's so many different manga for me to collect that collecting that one specific series might be a bit difficult, because I have like 4 different manga as well as light novel series I'm working on collecting right now, and they are taking up a lot of my time. So, yeah. I still, even though those plot points didn't really feel like they got going far enough for me, I still did have a great time with this anime. I thought the comedy was really fun. I say fun, not really funny as much, because I didn't laugh at every single joke, but I had a good time and I was always smiling. Like, I was really enjoying how, like, fun this anime was for its cutesy elements and its, like, fun slice of life elements. Everything about it was just fun. That's what I'm trying to say. I had a fun time. I didn't hate any of the characters. I wish some characters got a little more screen time and development, but I do like the fact that even though we don't get like big, massive developments like I'd hoped for, we do get a bit more information on a bunch of different other characters, like the supporting cast, like Kirishima's boss, Kazuhiko. He has a little backstory about him and his wife, about how they met in one of the episodes, and that was an adorable thing to watch. And we got to see other characters as well get a bit more explanation behind their characters as well. Like, when I first saw Kei Sugahara, I thought he was just kind of like a background side lackey for Kirishima, but then we get a bit more explanation with his character in one of the episodes where we go over his backstory and how he used to just be a shoplifter, and then eventually he ends up running into Kirishima, and then after meeting up with him, he ends up joining the Yakuza. And his story is really interesting because he just was never complimented for anything other than his shoplifting skills and basically just bad behavior. So when Kirishima complimented him for his tea skills, he was just like, oh my gosh, please let me follow you. I'm cool with being your shadow. And he was just like, it sounds weird out of context when you put it like that, but it's just such a wholesome story in my opinion. And it really just makes me feel happy watching these people interact with one another, and I just like it so much. And there are so many moments of this show where I just thought, oh my gosh, this is so great, this is so entertaining, where even though I didn't like how I still felt unfulfilled when watching the season and I wanted more, I still had a great time. It was a very enjoyable show, and while I do wish there was more, it was fun. It had a good story to it. The characters were entertaining to watch, and overall, I think everyone had great chemistry. The setup and everything was pretty well done. I didn't have any issues with the story, and I had a great time. This is one of the more fun animes I decided to just watch on a whim, I guess you could say. It was fun anime. So, yeah. We're at the conclusion of this video, and one of my final thoughts? I think it's a very entertaining and fun anime. The characters are all charming in their own way, except the villains who, you're meant to hate. But I had a great time. That's all I can really say. It was a great time. I think it was a fun anime, and if you just like a fun slice of life with someone taking care of their boss's kid, I guess. That's a weird way to put it, but if you just like a fun anime where characters interact with each other, this is a fun one. I had a great time, and that's why I'd probably have to rate this anime an 8 out of 10. It was very fun. I had a great time watching, as I mentioned many times throughout this video, and it was just very wholesome. I had a good time. Every character that I liked usually was meant to be one of those characters you're meant to like, and I really wish that there was more, because I felt like there was still could have been so much more explored that we still haven't like gotten to the depths of understanding, and that's why I really want to dive deeper into that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you all for watching. If you're new to the JGC Anime channel, don't forget to subscribe. I always welcome new anime fans to the channel, and I will see you all around. Peace!